welcome to the Gospel Rescue Mission. Let me show you around here what we have going here at the Miller Center Family for Life Change. Come on in. All right, this is our lobby, and we designed our lobby. Actually had our architect design. I don't do any of the designing, but our architect decided to design this in a way that looks a little bit more like a hotel. So that way it's welcoming and friendly, and says to folks, this is a new opportunity for your life. We want you to have a new opportunity. We want you to flourish, we want you to grow. And in a hotel, I always feel welcome, I feel special. Even the low-end hotels, I feel special. So here, we want them to feel special and important and have great value. We want to communicate that to our guests from the moment they walk through the door until the day they leave, regardless of how that happens. So come on down, we're on this. Our ladies behind the desk are actually part of our Work Start job training program. They're learning how to be hospitality and security. So a hotel would be a great place. So if you happen to be someone looking for that profession, we got it for you right here. Happy to work with you. We also have other work starts we'll talk about as we go along. But their job is to welcome everybody just like you would at a hotel. Back behind them, which we're not going to go in because it's not all that exciting, we have our toiletries. So they actually earn their toiletries. We have our GRM bucks. They earn that through the working, as these ladies are earning their bucks right now. The other job starts also doing those same sort of things. So we have great opportunity for them to earn, and then they can buy their toiletries, they can buy a bike, they can actually use that to pay part of their getting their record expunged. They can use it for all sorts of things around the mission. But they actually get paid for their work, they earn their keep, just like everybody else does in society. So going on down this way, we're on the men's dorm, and we don't give a tour of the women's part of it because a lot of our ladies are actually in hiding. But today we're just going to look at the men's dorm so you can see a little bit idea of what that's like. At any given day, we can serve 50 men and 36 women.
Sorry, guys.
And every single day we do this. We can also get creative. But we have not turned anybody away due to lack of space. So the little known secret in Muskogee County is no one has to be homeless in Muskogee County. We have more beds than we have our homeless based on their one-day count. And we can get them all in here, and we'll be creative. If we don't have natural space, we'll put mattresses down, we'll put blankets down, we'll do whatever we can to make them have a place. We don't turn anybody away due to lack of space. I will share this though, we are not able to serve level 3 sex offenders. We have a youth center across the street. We serve women with children, men with children. So it's just not an option we have legally. It's not that we don't care about them, that we don't, we do love them and think that they can change and flourish. We're just not able to serve them at this time. But come on down here, we'll show you what the dorms look like. Well, this is the men's dorm. And inside the dorm, we have beds for everyone. We have lockers, because the two top reasons that people don't come in here, number two actually is things getting stolen. This is one of the things I discovered. I started doing this 22 years ago, is that oftentimes men and women will steal from each other. And you would think they're all kind of in the same spot. Maybe they wouldn't do that, but no, they're happy to steal from one another if it comes up. But the lockers help them feel secure. We want them to feel safe while they're here, have their belongings feel safe. We also have stuff in the wall. The number one reason though is bugs. Rumors, missions across the country got bugs, bed bugs, fleas, termites. I mean, you name it, they got bugs. And we don't want to have bugs. So when we designed this place, we had it put together several years ago. We put diatomaceous earth in the walls. So that's killing bugs inside the walls. The mattresses are all bug resistant, all germ resistant. And we also have a team that goes around usually about once a month, and they'll hit every spot of the place, every wall, every floor, every ceiling. They're going to take care of this place, make sure we're killing bugs at 185 degrees, and that will kill bugs. But in between time, we also want to make sure we don't get those that way, so we have our hot room, and we won't actually go in there, but we can show you that in the video, kind of where they're at. So this room back here, we actually have in here, and we cook their belongings at 140 degrees for 4 hours. That also kills bugs. You're going to hear a theme here is I don't like bugs. And I want our folks not to have to deal with that and experience that. Because I love them, I care about them, and I don't want them to be bugged if I can avoid that. Over here is our men's lounge. And this is our men's lounge. The guys can hang out here all day. There's no reason why they have to leave this facility. I know there's rumors when I first got here 9 years ago that people had to leave at 8:30 every single day. We do have a small group that have to do that. There are actually people who don't play well with others. So we can't keep them here because they are a danger to other people, either from addiction, mental illness, or something else that keeps them from being safe for other people. So we have them leave before everybody gets up. But a vast majority of those who are actually serving, those who are capable and able to have life change, they are here. They can be here throughout the day. And we have computers for them to get on. The way our program works is this. They get here 2 weeks, get settled in, try out some things, do some classes, do some community meetings, have some meals, and then try to live in the barracks with these other men or the other ladies. Living with other people is not always comfortable for people. So you get a couple weeks to kind of figure this out. At 2 weeks, they're going to have a panel of 3 guests and 2 staff because we want to empower our shelter guests. This is where they live, and they are really qualified to do this because they live here. They have to live with the decision. When I decide who stays or goes, if when it was just me, I don't have to live with them. It's not my consequence. We want them to be there. They will decide who stays, who goes, and then they will have a conversation with them if they have to go for some reason or if it's something that concerns them. They're going to have that conversation because we love each other, we care about each other. We're going to actually speak truth and love to one another. That's how we learn and grow, and we want our men and women to flourish, and that happens through those panel meetings. If they pass the panel, they meet with a staff member who's going to do a full assessment, physical, mental, spiritual, social. You're going to find everything they can about them to help them to figure out the foundation, what is going on in their life, and help them to flourish. We've got to find out what's going on, so we set up a plan for them. We take that assessment, we say, okay, you do these 4 or 5 things, you're going to learn, grow, prosper, you're going to do great things, and in a month we're going to check on you. We're going to hold you accountable to that. Accountability is a great statement of love. And when we talk about accountability, it's not like we're gonna burn their feet or we're gonna put them in jail or those. That's not really what we're looking for. It's a little bit more like a guideline, like a football boundary. So we push them back in bounds when they come around. That's what we're really aiming to do: is keep you on the field, keep you on the field, keep you on the field. Because if they're on the field, they're playing and they have great opportunity. And so that's what happens with that contract, and they push through that month. They do those things, get another month, do those things another month. And the reason I point that out with the computers is some of the things that get assigned are going to be computer classes. They can go on YouTube, or we have Right Now Media. We have several different systems they can use. And they're going to be able to flourish through learning these things, and then they can continue that process when they leave here. We are not the end game for them. Our vision for their life is that they have a full-time job, that they have a place that they're owning. Rental is always going to be a temporary solution. There is no such thing as permanent housing when it's a rental. Permanent housing is owning your home and helping move forward with that. It's being reunited with family if they're healthy and safe. It's getting education, living a dream job rather than just a job to get by. All those are pieces of what we're aiming for them to experience and have. And so for those who are here during the week, they get to experience that. And really what we're aiming for is they go from being a liability to being an asset to our community. So it's not just about them, it's about our whole community. So let's go ahead down here, we'll go through the dining room. They're getting ready to have lunch, so maybe we'll get to see what they're serving today. One of the things that we do when we're in the kitchen, we have our food service Work Start program, which teaches them those job skills. So if you're someone in a restaurant, owns a restaurant, you need some workers, we're your place. You give us a call, we can introduce you to some of our folks who'll be a great, Connor, we'll be a great employee for you because we're actually training them and teaching them to have those basic life skills and job skills so that way they can be successful. So let's go this way. Excuse me, everyone. We're going to do a quick tour through here.
Run through, guys.
You want to use the breathalyzer? What kind of do it?
So this is our dining room. We're going to serve 3 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, dinner. We really focus in on nutrition. Especially if you've had addiction in your life, you need to replace some of those things. In fact, any medication you take is damaging your body in some capacity. It's taking some nutrients or minerals away. So you need to supplement somehow, whether through healthy eating, whole foods, or vitamins, whatever it takes. But all we got here is whole foods. We're going to feed them everything we can that's going to be healthy and help their body to recover from those things. Again, because we care about them, we love them, we want them to be healthy into the future. So let's go this way.
Well, it's been a while since I've done the show. It was off, so I don't know if someone tried to restart it or what.
Howdy.
How are you?
You all right?
Good.
All right, so they're getting ready to serve out lunch right here, so they're putting this all together. But again, 3 meals a day. These are volunteers. We always need volunteers to help serve meals. We appreciate that. So we'll come down this way. We also have those who are working throughout the kitchen. Again, they're learning all the skills. So by the time they get out of here, if they do the full program, they'll have a food handler's card in their hand. They will actually have the skills to be a manager of any restaurant in the area. So we'd love to have you, if you are someone who can hire, love to have that be part of it. The other team I haven't talked about, the other work start I haven't talked about yet is our custodial maintenance team. This team cleans, they fix things, They do a great job, so they also would be great employees. Those are our 3 work star. We have the hospitality and security, custodial maintenance, and then the kitchen, food services. Come this way. We got our dish room. You know, every restaurant in the community has a dish room, so we're going to want them to have those skills. And it isn't as easy as it seems, and not everybody loves being in that. We have our pantry, almost all donated foods. You'd be amazed how little the budget is, considering that how many meals a day we serve. You know, God provides us in other ways besides just cash. But if you want to support us, you can also help us pay for our food service managers and other staff members. Those are all opportunities to give to the Gospel Rescue Mission. All right, this is our administrative wing. And so this is Hobart Cox. He was our founder. 1931, he founded the Gospel Rescue Mission. We'll show a picture when we get over to the chapel of what that place looked like at that point. Hobart was a great man of faith. This was his pulpit. He was vertically challenged, had all sorts of physical things that may have held him back. In fact, I think in today's world, they would say he couldn't do anything. He would have no value. But he's decided, I don't care that I have a disability. I'm not disabled. He didn't let that become his identity. He overcame his disability. He accomplished great things. So he pulled this together in 1931. And historically, if you know the history, 1929 is when the Great Depression started officially, when average people like you and me, the people who are actually watching this most of the time, would not have felt the pains of the Great Depression until about 1931. Then add that he would not have known about it yet, but he soon experienced, was the Dust Bowl started to impact Oklahoma, where Muskogee didn't have a lot of Dust Bowl direct. We did have a lot of issues because the other side of the state and Kansas and other places were definitely deeply impacted by the Dust Bowl situation and crops not coming in, all the challenges of that. So Hobart not only put it together in the worst possible economic time possible, but he kept it going and had a heart for it all the way until he passed away in 1966. And for those of faith, I want to tell you this was the most amazing story. And I had it validated. I met his wife, and I was able to confirm that this was actually the true story. Is that on Christmas Eve, actually in 1965, he was preaching a gospel message. He gives an altar call. And during that altar call, he has a heart attack, and somebody else has to actually pray with him. He doesn't have the ability at that point to pray with anybody, but he sits on the front pew, has his heart attack, and he dies just about a week later. So technically he dies in 1966. But he basically gave his last message and never recovered from that. It was a beautiful way to go out. As a preacher, as a man that loves Jesus, I think there's no better way. There's just no better way to go out, and Hobart did that. Again, I was able to meet his wife. I assumed that she had passed away long before I arrived, so I didn't even look for her when I arrived in 2015. But I found out in about 2017 that she was alive, and so I ran over to a retirement village where she was living, and I was really excited to go meet her for the first time, and they had just taken her to the emergency room. So I raced to the emergency room, and I meet her there, and I'm visiting with her, and they put her in a room all by herself, and I'm able to visit with her and the whole family. And so if you come over here, we got a picture of our ribbon cutting here, and this is their daughter right there in the middle. And that's where I met the whole family, confirmed the rumors and the legends of the Gospel Rescue Mission. One other legend I would like to share with you about Hobart is that downtown Muskogee was on fire. Mostly wooden buildings, and it's on fire. And Hobart sees that the fire is blowing toward the Gospel Rescue Mission. And he's concerned about this. He knows he can't rebuild it. He's older at this point. There's concern of his health, and he just doesn't know what he's going to do. So he just goes in the chapel. Does the one thing that every man of God should do first. He goes into the chapel and he prays, and he prays, and he prays. And then they're evacuating the whole neighborhood, but he refuses to go. He was almost like, I'm going to pray, and if God doesn't come through, he's going to have to burn me up too. It was that kind of faith. And he prayed until the wind shifted, pushed the fire away from the building, and never touched the building. And the whole neighborhood was in shock that this man who smelled the smoke but never ran. What a great story of faith for Hobart Cox. He's one of my heroes. So come this way, we're going to go over and look at our chapel. Here in the chapel, we actually have community meetings where we have a short devotional, kind of help them start their day with on a rhythm. A good healthy rhythm starts off with a good breakfast and then a time of prayer, a time of Bible study. Not very long. We're not pushing anything down their throats. In fact, for those who are opposed to the faith message that we have here, we are the Gospel Rescue Mission, so the gospel is first. It's important to understand that less than 5% of their time here is actually focused deliberately, for everyone at least, focused on spiritual matters. Everything else is kind of covered with that. We talk about food. We're talking about how it's healthy, nutritious, kind of how it touches the spirit. We're talking about education. We're talking about the good ethics, good character, all based on Bible teaching. But as far as direct goes, community meeting, they got about 10, 15 minutes of that. That's direct spiritual teaching. Now, as they do their personal contract, they might want to grow more. So we're going to give them a whole lot more. They're going to get a ton of Bible teaching and spiritual teaching and all those sort of things. But less than 5%. So people who complain about us being faith-based, we're shoving the Bible down their throat, that's just not accurate. Because we actually want to speak to their spirit, but we're not going to force anything on them. We're just kind of teasing them with it and kind of drawing them into the faith of the gospel. We also have our Forging Past the Felony program. Now, if you know someone, they don't have to stay here to be part of that Forging Past the Felony. If you know anything about having a felony on your record, it is tough to get your life back. It is nearly impossible. It's tough to get insurance, car insurance, even if your crime had nothing to do with driving. It's tough to get an apartment. It's tough to get a job. And if you have a violent felony label on there, it's nearly impossible for all those things. But we believe that they have another opportunity, another chance. I believe God makes us all new. And so our Forging Past the Felony has helped them develop character and personality that's going to overcome those challenges. And the truth is that they used to say, well, just get the record expunged. And there are times and places where that's appropriate. But because of the internet, those records are permanent. You can take them off the government records, but they are on the internet someplace. And if somebody wants to find out about your past, you're going to find it. And I like to share this example is that my grandfather told me a story. My grandfather had done some time in prison. And he had told me the story about why he was imprisoned. And I kind of doubted it. I wasn't sure if that was the whole story. But so one day I researched, got it on Google, and I found exactly the whole story of his crime. And when it was first publicized, all the way through the crime. And then I even found the court record, so everything that was said in court. Now, he didn't go through the process of getting him expunged, but even if he got him expunged, those records, those things that I found on the internet would have still been there. So we want to help them live a life that people just don't care. When they do find out, well, they were in a felony, but they're cool. They're fine. They're a new person, or a new creation. As a gospel rescue mission, we believe in God's grace. We believe that God creates a new creation. So when I see these men and women, I might have seen them in the orange jumpsuit with inmate, logo on the back, but they're not that person anymore. We don't allow our folks to not be an addict. They might struggle with addiction, but they're not an addict. They may have a disability, but we don't call them disabled. We say that they have a potential and the opportunity to serve and love and be part of our community. Unfortunately, much of our community sees them as outcasts. We want to free them from that label. We want them to be a part of who we are, so that way they can flourish and grow and then help our community to flourish and grow. And we're going to do all that with God leading the way.